Today, we're going to talk about Bangalore, India, its own Silicon Valley. You know it as this hub of tech innovation, a real symbol of explosive growth. But what happens when that growth outpaces everything else? Well, you get a crisis. And it's exactly what's happening right now with its infrastructure, traffic, and water. Just look at this picture. This isn't some remote desert. Nope, this is, or was, a lake right in Bengaluru. That cracked, dry earth tells you everything you need to know. It's a powerful gut punch of an image, showing a city that's been pushed way, way past its limits. And this quote, this really brings it all home, doesn't it? This isn't just some abstract problem you read about. It is a deeply personal crisis. For people like S. Prasad, the city's failures are a direct threat, one that could literally force them to pack up and leave their own homes. So you have to ask, how on earth did we get here? And that's the central paradox of Bengaluru, right? It's the city that's busy building the future for the entire world, but at the same time, it's struggling to provide the absolute basics for its own citizens. Think about that for a second. In the shadow of these massive, gleaming headquarters for global tech companies, you've got families who are literally rationing water. You've got commuters stuck in soul-crushing gridlock for hours. It's like two different cities living in the same place, a shiny, modern exterior with a foundation that is just crumbling under the strain. To really get a handle on just how bad things are, we have to look at the data. And trust me, the numbers here paint a really startling picture of a system that is at its breaking point. Okay, first, let's talk water. The city has about 14,000 bore wells. These are a major source of water for millions of people. Well, get this, almost half of them, 6,900, have gone completely dry. That's not a small problem. That is a catastrophic failure of a core resource. And this slide shows you the basic math just doesn't add up. Every single day, the city needs 300 million liters more water than its system can actually provide. This isn't a one-time thing. This is a chronic, daily shortfall that the city is dealing with. And the chaos isn't just about water. Oh no, it's on the roads too. An average commute of 41 minutes, one way. That means people are spending nearly an hour and a half stuck in traffic every single day. That's hundreds of hours a year just gone. It's a huge sign of an infrastructure that just wasn't ready for this many people. So why is the water problem so bad? Well, this chart gives us a massive clue. The city is nearly 90% paved over. It's become a concrete jungle. So when it rains, the water has nowhere to go. It can't soak into the ground to recharge the groundwater. It's a textbook case of what happens with rapid, unplanned growth. And the little water that is left, it's getting more and more toxic. The number of lakes in the Class E category, that's the worst, most polluted level you can have, has more than doubled in just 4 years. This shows the problem is actually speeding up, turning what should be precious resources into public hazards. You know, all these numbers, the dry wells, the traffic, the pollution, they're all symptoms of something much deeper. It really makes you wonder, how did one of the most innovative cities in the world end up in this mess? Well, the answer seems to lie in governance. So let's do a little compare and contrast with another Indian city, Ahmedabad. In Bengaluru, planning is a mess. It's split across multiple agencies that don't seem to talk to each other. But in Ahmedabad, they have a single, integrated authority that manages everything. And that simple difference in approach, it has huge, real-world consequences. Ahmedabad's secret weapon is this really clever model called land pooling. Here's how it works. Instead of trying to buy up little bits of land for roads, the city takes a percentage of land from everyone in a new area. They use that pooled land to build wide roads, parks, you name it. Then they give the rest of the land back to the owners, whose property is now way more valuable because it has all this great infrastructure. It's a win-win. And the result? You can literally see it on the streets. The newer roads in Ahmedabad are just so much wider than in Bangalore. That kind of foresight and planning directly leads to less traffic and a city that can actually breathe and grow without choking itself. But hey, Bangalore is a city of innovators, right? And this crisis finally forced it to turn all that brainpower inwards, to start using its data skills to solve its own massive problems. This is where the story takes a turn. It all started with a really simple, almost obvious question asked by the new water board chairman in the middle of a crisis meeting. And the answer was just staggering. Nobody knew. In a city that tracks billions of data points every second for global clients, its most vital resource was a complete mystery. They were flying blind. Well, that shocking answer was the wake-up call. The city turned to the one thing it knows best: technology. They started looking at IoT sensors. These are little devices you can attach to a bore well to measure exactly how much water is being used and send that info back to a central dashboard, all in real time. And they aren't just dipping their toes in the water here. Bengaluru is now rolling these sensors out on 4,000 public bore wells. They're building one of the biggest urban groundwater monitoring systems in all of Asia. And this quote from the chairman just says it all. You can't stop a drought from happening, but you can absolutely stop yourself from being unprepared for it. This is Bengaluru finally shifting from reacting to crises to proactively managing its resources with data. So, okay, technology is a big part of the answer, but is it enough? Can a few thousand sensors fix decades of neglect? Let's take a look at some of the other solutions being thrown around, both from the people living there and from the urban planning experts. The city's own residents have a pretty clear wish list. They want a metro system that actually connects the whole city. They want strict enforcement of traffic rules, and they want things like congestion fees to get private cars off the road. Other ideas? More remote work, spreading jobs to nearby cities, and even mandatory carpooling. The experts? They agree with all that, but they're also looking at the bigger long-term picture. They're talking about mandating rainwater harvesting for all buildings, seriously scaling up wastewater recycling, restoring the city's 200-plus lakes, and, most importantly, bringing back the green spaces that got paved over. So this brings us to the ultimate question. Bangaluru's crisis is a huge cautionary tale about what happens with unchecked growth, but its response, turning to data, to innovation, to its own people, could be its path to salvation. So, can a city that was literally built on writing code successfully write the code to fix itself? That is the real test.
Subscribe to Fun Time with Samay for fun, facts, and educational videos every week.